Hello everyone, welcome to today's class. Today we are going to discuss about the various components of business environment, then what is the economic environment in India, and then the new economic policy 1991. To begin with, let's discuss firstly the components of business environment. Now, the various dimensions or components of business environment are economic environment, legal environment, political environment, technological environment, and social environment. Now, let's learn about these various dimensions or components of environment, business environment, one by one. Economic environment. It consists of factors like inflation rates, interest rates, GDP, gross domestic product, consumers' income, economic policies, market conditions, etc., which affect the performance of the business. They have direct and immediate effect on the business. Therefore, it became necessary that proper understanding and scanning of the environment is done to know their effect. देखिए बेटा, जब भी इकोनॉमिक एनवायरनमेंट की बात होती है तो इकोनॉमिक एनवायरनमेंट बेसिकली डील्स विद ऑल दोज फैक्टर्स which are affecting our economy in the sense that what is the interest rates like your CRR, SLR, interest rates charged by commercial banks, your inflation rate, your consumer per capita income, means something related to money and the market conditions. So all these factors are having influence on the business. एक एग्जाम्पल लेते हैं. देखिए, अगर मेरा CRR इंक्रीज कर देते हैं RBI, we have already learned this, that if the CRR is increased, then commercial bank will also increase their interest rates. अगर इंटरेस्ट रेट्स बढ़ जाएंगे तो इकोनॉमी में इन्वेस्टमेंट्स रिड्यूस हो जाएंगी, और अगर इकोनॉमी में इन्वेस्टमेंट्स रिड्यूस होती हैं तो एम्प्लॉयमेंट एंड इनकम विल आल्सो गेट रिड्यूस. सो this is how the economic environment is affecting the business. क्योंकि इन्वेस्टमेंट करने वाले जो प्रोड्यूसर्स ही होते हैं, they are investing, बिजनेसेस ही होते हैं जो इन्वेस्टमेंट करते हैं. तो इंटरेस्ट रेट अगर मेरा इंक्रीज हो जाएगा तो इकोनॉमी में इन्वेस्टमेंट डिक्रीज हो जाएगी. सो एंड द बिजनेस विल बी अफेक्टेड. The aspects of economic environment are role of public and private sector, rate of growth of GDP, GNP, per capita income, balance of trade, balance of payment and foreign exchange reserves, rate of savings and investments, public debt, both public and private, money supply in the economy, etc. So these are the aspects of economic environment which are affecting our businesses. The next aspect or the next dimension is your social environment. Now, social environment means the norms or the practices which are there in the society. Customs, traditions, social practices that have passed from one generation to another generation. For example, celebration of festivals provide opportunities for candle business, sweets, card campaigns. Values. Values are the standards that a society hold in high esteem. For example, freedom, social justice, equality reflected in the freedom to select a product, equality in treatment of men and women, various social trends and society's expectations are all the part of their social environment. Effect of social environment on business. Now, these affect the demand for a product, supply of labor and capital. If fails to adapt to these changes, then it leads to द फेलियर ऑफ द बिजनेस. फॉर एग्जाम्पल अगर हम इंडिया की बात करें, इंडिया में दिवाली is said to be a very auspicious festival among the masses, among the majority of the community. तो आप देखिए जब दिवाली आने लगती है, everybody, most of the people, they start purchasing, new things, new assets for their house. So at that time the business as in India is at its peak. यही सेलिब्रेशंस अगर आप यूरोपियन कंट्रीज में चले जाएं तो सोसाइटी में उनका नाम है दे सेलिब्रेट क्रिसमस. फाइन. तो पीपल ड्यूरिंग क्रिसमस दे डू मैक्सिमम ऑफ देयर परचेजिंग. So at during the time of Christmas, again, the business in European countries is at peak. So this is just one of the example that how the uh, society's expectation or social norms or the festivals which are there, which the society is celebrating, it is affecting the businesses. Some aspect of social environment are people's attitude towards new product, lifestyle, occupational distribution, consumption habits of different people, educational system and literacy rates, population shifts from rural to urban sector, increasing share of women in the workforce. अब इसी का एग्जाम्पल ले लेते हैं, वेरी गुड एग्जाम्पल. सी, nowadays the women is also contributing, the share of women in the workforce is increasing. तो अब अगर women is going out to work, तो अब आप देखिए demand for new products like electronic gadgets which are going to make the kitchen work simpler, fine, it is increasing. For example, your mixer, your juicer, your grinder, roti maker, microwave oven, डिश वॉशर. तो इस तरीके के प्रोडक्ट्स which is going to help the women in the kitchen because they are now becoming a part of the workforce. Fine. So the demand for such products is increasing because a trend in the society is changing. Women is going out to work. So that is why the demand for these electronic items, electronic gadgets, electronic products is increasing. Next aspect is family structure, nuclear or joint. Again, if you are having a nuclear family, then you may be demanding some different type of products. A joint family, then again the demand for the products vary. Mortality rate, desire for enhancement of quality of life. The next component of business environment is technological environment. The forces related to scientific improvements and innovations for the purpose of finding new ways of production, improving the quality, new methods and techniques of operating a business are a part of technological environment. It can be an opportunity for some and threats for other. देखिए अपॉर्चुनिटी उनके लिए जिन्होंने अर्ली वार्निंग सिग्नल्स को आइडेंटिफाई कर लिया और टाइमली एक्शन ले लिया कि भाई ये प्रॉब्लम आ रही है, लेट्स चेंज द टेक्नोलॉजी. एंड कंज्यूमर का जो नीड और वांट है, अगर हम ये थोड़े से मॉडिफिकेशन कर लें अपने प्रोडक्ट में, तो वी विल बी एबल टू केटर लार्जर मार्केट शेयर. सो दोज who are identifying the early warning signal and taking the first mover advantage, it's an opportunity for those businesses. But who couldn't identify these signals and they they are unable to compete with the other firms, so that is going to be a threat for the others. Technological environment improves the overall efficiency and effectiveness with which an organization can work. Aspects of technological environment are use of internet, CD-ROMs for advertising, e-ticketing, booking of tickets, innovations in the field of biotechnology, food preservatives, lasers, robotics, ballpoint pen from fountain pen, mobile phones from landline. So these are the various examples of the changes which are taking place in the technological environment and helping the businesses to expand, to come up with a new product to meet the requirement of the consumers. The next component of business environment is political environment. Political environment includes political conditions such as general stability and peace in a country and attitude of ruling party and its representatives towards the business. देखिए जो रूलिंग पार्टी जो प्रेजेंट गवर्नमेंट होती है उसका एटीट्यूड क्या है टूवर्ड्स डिफरेंट सेक्टर्स टूवर्ड डिफरेंट बिजनेसेस is basically affecting the business. Effect of political environment on businesses. See, if there is political stability, confidence will be there among the business people, and that will strengthen, and business will make long term investments leading to growth of the economy. लेकिन अगर suppose there if there is no political stability, then the businesses will think that maybe अगर ये गवर्नमेंट फॉल हो गई और इसकी जगह नई गवर्नमेंट आई, न्यू गवर्नमेंट का एटीट्यूड टूवर्ड्स अवर बिजनेस मे चेंज, सो इट्स बेटर टू होल्ड और अभी इन्वेस्टमेंट नहीं करते. नई गवर्नमेंट की क्या पॉलिसी होगी टूवर्ड्स अवर बिजनेस, लेट्स सी एंड देन वी मेक फर्दर इन्वेस्टमेंट. ऑन दी कॉन्ट्री, अगर मेरी पॉलिटिकल एनवायरनमेंट स्टेबल है, मेरी गवर्नमेंट स्टेबल है, बिजनेसेस का कॉन्फिडेंस है हमारे प्रेजेंट गवर्नमेंट में, तो that will help the businesses to strengthen and to they will be motivated, they will have that confidence to make long term investment that will lead to growth of the economy. Attitude of the government officials can have positive or negative impact on the business. We have got a live example when we saw that our economy crashed in 1991. In 1991, even when foreign companies were allowed to set up in India, they were discouraged because of bureaucratic red tapeism in the Indian market. And the change in place of production of Tata Nano. See, Tata Nano जब कंपनी आई थी तो टाटा ने ये सोचा था कि हम अपना जो प्लांट है नैनो का, दे वांटेड टू सेट अप इन वेस्ट बंगाल, लेकिन वेस्ट बंगाल की गवर्नमेंट ने उनको सपोर्ट नहीं किया और टाटा ने अपना जो प्लांट था नैनो का, दे सेट अप in Gujarat, because in Gujarat at that time was Modi government, and Modi government welcomed Tata to establish their plant for the production of nano over there. So you can see कि West Bengal में there was the government of Mrs. Mamta Banerjee, fine, that her political party did not support Tata company to establish nano plant over there. But in Gujarat, the company got the support from Modi government, and the plant for the production of nano was set up over there. तो जब plant nano का गुजरात में set up हुआ, तो definitely investment गुजरात में हुई, employment opportunities create गुजरात में हुई, and there was lot of business opportunities that were created in Gujarat by setting up that nano plant by the Tata company in that area. The main aspects of political environment are constitutions of the country, prevailing political system, political ideologies and values. किस political party की क्या ideology है, क्या value system they follow, it is having a lot of impact on the businesses. Level of political morality, the nature of relationship of a country with foreign countries, pressure by government and allied agencies, and nature of ruling party and government. They all have the influence on the businesses. The last component of business environment is legal environment. Legal environment consists of rules and regulations framed by parliament under which it has to operate. A business must have complete knowledge of these laws and must follow them also. Fine. So legal environment basically it is associated with the legislation कि country में क्या law frame हो रहे हैं and businesses have to comply. business को वो सारे जो laws हैं उनको comply करना होता है. Constituents of legal environment are different laws passed by the government, administrative orders issued by government authorities and court. कई बार क्या है किसी चीज़ के लिए हमारे पास लॉ नहीं है तो हम देखते हैं कि अच्छा क्या करना चाहिए, व्हाट इज़ एथिकल. तो उसके लिए हम क्या करते हैं, हम एडमिनिस्ट्रेटिव ऑर्डर्स जो कि कोर्ट ने या गवर्नमेंट अथॉरिटीज़ ने पास किए होते हैं उनको रेफर कर लेते हैं. दैट अगर कोई किसी भी एस्पेक्ट के ऊपर किसी भी पर्टिकुलर टॉपिक के ऊपर अगर मुझे कुछ लॉ में नहीं मिल रहा तो वी रेफर the various administrative orders issued by the courts, issued by various government authorities. Then the third constituent of legal environment is recommendations made by various agencies at three levels: central, state, and local. Non-obedience to these laws can lead to many legal problems. So a business have to abide by the various legislation, various laws which are issued by the government or which are passed by the passed in the parliament. Legislation in India. Few of these legislation are Companies Act 2013, Factories Act 1986, Consumer Protection Act 1986, Competition Act 2002, Trade Union Act 1926 and Industrial Dispute Act 1947. ये सारे बेटा acts हैं which are being referred to when we are doing business. Let's take an example. For consumer benefit, government has passed a regulation that advertisements including packets of cigarette must carry the statutory warning cigarette smoking is injurious to health. So it is basically when this is being done, this is a part of the legal environment. Why? Because government has passed a regulation. ये पार्लियामेंट में पास हो गया है कि अगर वी आर सेलिंग अ सिगरेट, सिगरेट के जो पैकेट है उसके ऊपर ये स्टैट्यूटरी वार्निंग जानी चाहिए दैट सिगरेट स्मोकिंग इज इंजरियस टू हेल्थ. If any of the cigarette company is not following this law, then action will be taken against that company. Obviously government will take the action against that company. Advertisement of alcohol beverages are totally prohibited. So again a law has been passed, though you may be running an any alcoholic beverage company, but advertisement of such product is totally banned. So we have discussed all the 5 components or dimensions of business environment. They were economic environment, second was your social environment, technological environment, political environment, and legal environment. The next topic is economic environment in India. Economic environment in India consists of micro-level factors related to means of production and distribution of wealth. This include stages of economic development of the country like pre-independence and post-independence 1991, the economic structure in the form of mixed economy, having both public and private sectors. See, mixed economy is an economy where both public and private sector coexist. Economic policies of the government, monetary, fiscal, and industrial policy. Economic planning, that is 5-year plan and the annual budgets. Infrastructural factors are also going to constitute the economic environment in India, like your banks, financial institutions, mode of transportation, facilities of communication. All these banks, modes of transportation and communication, they are the part of the infrastructure of any economy. Then economic indices like your per capita income, national income, rate of saving and investments, value of exports and imports, and balance of payment, they are the part of economic environment. All these factors must be considered by every manager to determine its impact on the business. Now let's understand the economic environment of India at the time of independence. You have learnt all these topics in your economics also. Your in your Indian economy, the first chapter is your Indian economy on the eve of independence. So we are just going to talk about the economic environment of India at the time of independence in this section. The key points are dominance of agricultural sector as economy being rural in nature. So when India got independent, agricultural sector was the dominant sector. 70% approximately of the population was employed in the agricultural sector. About 85% of the population were living in villages. We were using obsolete and outdated technology in production. The mortality rate was very high. There were widespread communicable diseases and poor public health system. So, to solve these economic problems, Government of India made some plans and policies which were more importance was given to the public sector, curtailing the role of the private sector. Reason being that the government was of the view कि हमारा जो प्राइवेट सेक्टर है वो इकोनॉमी को सेटअप करने के लिए जितनी ह्यूज इन्वेस्टमेंट हमें चाहिए वो हमारा प्राइवेट सेक्टर सपोर्ट नहीं कर सकता, फाइन। और हमारे प्राइवेट सेक्टर के पास इतना कॉन्फिडेंस भी नहीं है, हमारे पास इतना प्राइवेट सेक्टर के पास इतना कॉन्फिडेंस भी नहीं है कि वो इंडस्ट्रीज को डेवलप कर सके, हमारा जो इकोनॉमिक एनवायरनमेंट है उसको इम्प्रूव कर सके। दैट इज वाई गवर्नमेंट टुक द लीड एंड मोर इम्पोर्टेंस majority of the industries were being set up in the public sector. Then central planning and control of industries by state by reservation of majority of the industries in the public sector. The objectives of India's development plans were to initiate rapid economic growth to improve the standard of living. Second, reduce unemployment and poverty. This was the second objective of the India's development plan. Third was to become self-reliant. Fourth, set up a strong industrial base by emphasizing on heavy and basic industries. Fifth objective was to reduce inequalities of income. Next is to adopt a socialist pattern of development. That is why India adopted the system of mixed economy where both public and private sector coexist. The role of public and private sector. Public sector concentrated on infrastructure and private sector on developing consumer goods. Many other restrictions were put on the private sector like your licensing. आप प्राइवेट सेक्टर में जब भी कोई इंडस्ट्री ओपन अप कर रहे थे, you have to take the license from the government. आपको expand करना है तब government से license लेना होता था. So a lot many restrictions were put on the private sector. और private sector में सिर्फ consumer goods industries को रखा गया था. जितनी भी heavy good industry, capital good industry, infrastructure development, all the industries related to the development of infrastructure were given in the hands of public sector. The outcome of India's development plan was there was foreign exchange crisis, high government deficit, rising price even after bumper crop. India had witnessed green revolution, white revolution, but still in 1991 our economy totally crashed. There was inflation. We just had the foreign exchange in our reserves to pay to the for the oil for just 15 days, and there was a huge government deficit, low GNP growth rate, shrinkage of foreign trade, and low agricultural production. That was the outcome of the India's development plan since, you can say, from 1950 to 1990. So the new industrial policy was introduced in 1991, and certain other reforms were also introduced in 1991. To name few among them, as mentioned earlier, new industrial policy 1991, new trade policy. There were some fiscal reforms, monetary reforms that had taken place, capital market reforms, and your adoption of the policy of LPG. LPG is liberalization, globalization, and privatization. Let's discuss these reforms one by one. The first is New Industrial Policy 1991. The feature of this new industrial policy 1991 first is delicensing. Number of industries under compulsory licensing were reduced to 6 and then later on to 3. So 3 industries were there in the public sector. Fine. And the number of industries under compulsory licensing were reduced to 6. The number of industries under compulsory licensing were reduced to 6, and 3 major industries were there in the public sector. The second feature of your new industrial policy 1991 was de-reservation of industries under the public sector, reducing it to only 4 industries of strategic importance. Fine. Just 4 industries of strategic importance were there in the hand of public sector, and then later on it was just reduced to 3. This point I was talking about. The first was defense, second your atomic energy, and third is railways. Now till date these 3 industries are there in the hands of public sector. The third feature of new industrial policy is disinvestment in case of many public sector industrial enterprises. So the first 3 features are delicensing, de-reservation and disinvestment. Delicensing करी और बेटा हमारे पास जो इंडस्ट्रीज थी जिनमें लाइसेंसिंग की जरूरत थी, they were just reduced to 6. For example, your pharmaceuticals or your alcohol or cigarette. So these industries still they require licenses. De-reservation, your de-reservation of industries under public sector, and only 3 major industries they of strategic importance they were kept under public sector, and till date they are there in public sector, like your railways, your defense and your atomic energy. And third point is your disinvestment in case of many public sector industrial enterprises. Then fourth point of your new industrial policy was policy towards foreign capital was liberalized, and FDI is foreign direct investment was invited in many activities even up to 100%. Now FDI क्या होता है बेटा? FDI is foreign direct investment के multinational companies, they bring their capital, they bring their technology, and they come and set up in the country, and they provide the production activity is being taking place in the foreign country, and they provide employment opportunities too. The fifth point was automatic permission granted for technology agreements with foreign companies. Lastly, Foreign Investment Promotion Board FIPB was set up to promote and channelize foreign investments in India. So the six important point of New Industrial Policy 1991 were, let's recapitulate. First, delicensing. Second, de-reservation. Third, disinvestment. So 3 Ds. Then four, policy towards foreign capital was liberalized, that is FDI was given 100% equity. Then automatic permission granted for technology agreements with foreign companies. And last point, FIPB was set up to promote and channelize foreign investment in India. Let's come to new trade policy. Now, in new trade policy, drastic reduction in import duties. See, we want to build up a economy where India would be a part of a global village. So for that, the trade should be free. So free in the sense means कि जितनी भी import duties थी, जितने भी आपके tariffs थे, they were reduced. Quota system was totally abolished so that there is free trade that should take place among various countries of the world. So for that, India ने क्या किया? Drastic reduction in import duties so that imports doesn't become costlier. Import costly नहीं हो. Abolition of export subsidies, cheaper export credits made available. Like अगर आपने production करनी है for export import purpose, the credit or the loan facility is available at lower rate of interest. And lastly, import restriction on capital goods, raw material and components are virtually eliminated. There were the various quota system, the various tariffs, they were reduced, quotas were totally removed. The objective was that there should be free flow of goods and services among various countries of the world. Let's come to the physical reforms which were introduced in 1991. अब बेटा जो फिजिकल पॉलिसी होती है गवर्नमेंट की, दैट इज रिलेटेड टू द इनकम ऑफ द गवर्नमेंट in the form of taxes and the government expenditure. So the various fiscal reforms which were taken by the government at that time were, first, they centered around reduction of fiscal deficits and reforms of taxation system. हमारा जो फिस्कल डेफिसिट हो गया था और हमारे पास जो फॉरेन एक्सचेंज रिजर्व थे वो सिर्फ 15 डेज के ऑल जो है उनकी पेमेंट करने के लिए बच गए थे. तो गवर्नमेंट का मेजर एम था कि जो हमारा फिस्कल डेफिसिट है उसको हम कैसे रिड्यूस करें और अपने टैक्सेशन सिस्टम को कैसे रिफॉर्म करें ताकि देयर शुड बी less cases of people who are evading taxes. More number of people should come up on their own and pay tax fairly and regularly. So for that, corporate and personal income tax were scaled down. कंपनी कॉरपोरेट टैक्स और पर्सनल इनकम टैक्स को हमने रिड्यूस कर दिया था ताकि जो लोग टैक्स इवेड कर रहे हैं वो इवेड ना करें. Substantial reductions were made in the excise as well as import duty. Excise duty और import duty में भी रिडक्शन कर दी गई थी, एंड मॉडिफिकेशंस इन द ट्रीटमेंट ऑफ कैपिटल गेन टैक्स एज अ पार्ट ऑफ डायरेक्ट टैक्स रिफॉर्म्स। कैपिटल गेन टैक्स लगता है बेटा जब आप कोई प्रॉपर्टी या कोई एसेट को सेल करते हो एट अ प्रॉफिट, सो उस प्रॉफिट पे आपको गवर्नमेंट को कैपिटल गेन टैक्स देना होता है। तो उसके अंदर भी there were certain modifications which were made, and capital gain tax was made a part of direct tax reform. The monetary reforms which had taken place at that point of time in 1991 were allowed the nationalized bank to raise additional capital from capital market, यानी कि nationalized बैंक को कैपिटल रेज करने के लिए शेयर्स फ्लोट करने की परमिशन मिल गई थी इन कैपिटल मार्केट। कैपिटल मार्केट इज योर शेयर मार्केट, तो इन बैंक्स के शेयर्स भी कैपिटल मार्केट में आ गए थे। permitted them to partially disinvest their shares. Permission was given to the banks to partly disinvest their shares. Then phased reduction in SLR, that is statutory liquidity ratio. And lastly, new norms of capital adequacy, income recognition, and loan loss provision were made as a change in the monetary reforms in 1991. The capital market reforms were: SEBI was established as a statutory body. SEBI is Security Exchange Board of India. कैपिटल मार्केट को रेगुलेट करने के लिए, कैपिटल मार्केट के लिए रेगुलेशंस या उनको गवर्न करने के लिए सेबी वॉज मेड एज अ स्टैट्यूटरी बॉडी। हमारा सेबी एक्ट है, and a special act was passed in the parliament and SEBI came into existence. Bonus issue made more liberal, and the restrictions on interest rate on debentures and public sector bonds other than tax free bonds have been removed. तो जो restrictions imposed थी on interest rates on debentures या public sector bonds पे, those restrictions were removed and market forces were allowed to govern the interest rates. Next is liberalization. The meaning of liberalization is it refers to the end of licenses, quota, and many more restrictions and control which were put on industries before 1991. It has taken place with respect to abolition of licensing requirement in most of the industries except a few. लाइसेंस की रिक्वायरमेंट को abolish कर दिया गया था. Few industries till date they have to take license, like I have given you the examples in the previous slide also, like your cigarette or alcohol. Fine. So these industries till date they want, or pharmaceutical companies, they want license till date from the government, but many other industries, they were liberated from this requirement of getting the license from the government. No restriction on expansion and contraction of business activity. आप जितना मर्जी चाहे अपना business expand कर लीजिए, जितना या कॉन्ट्रैक्ट कर लीजिए, नो रिस्ट्रिक्शंस वर इम्पोज्ड. फ्रीडम इन फिक्सिंग द प्राइजेस ऑफ गुड्स एंड सर्विसेज, गवर्नमेंट की कोई इंटरवेंशन नहीं होगी. आप अपने प्रोडक्ट की प्राइस डिपेंडिंग अपॉन द डिमांड एंड सप्लाई यू कैन फिक्स. गवर्नमेंट हाँ फिक्स करती है प्राइजेस ऑफ सर्टन नेसेसरी आइटम्स. फाइन. देर आर वेरी फ्यू आइटम्स विच आर देयर इन द लिस्ट जिसके अंदर गवर्नमेंट इंटरवीन करती है, एंड दोज आर नेसेसरी आइटम्स. Then the fourth point in liberalization to be discussed is reduction in tax rates and lifting the unnecessary control over the economy. Tax rates reduce कर दिए गए और जो भी unnecessary controls थे they were uplifted. Then simplifying the procedure for import and export, because India wanted to increase the exports so that the foreign exchange reserve can be increased. And then easy and simple procedure for foreign capital and technology. So in order to attract FDIs and FIIs into the country, easy and simple procedures were made so that these FDIs and FIIs, they can come and set up in India. Next is privatization. It refers to giving greater role to private sector and reducing the role of public sector. And we know that in 1991, the public sector role was reduced and private sector was given a lead role towards the economic development of the country. Planned disinvestment was carried out in the public sector. Disinvestment refers to the transfer of public sector enterprise to the private sector. Disinvestment, देखिए जब हम इन्वेस्टमेंट करते हैं, इन्वेस्टमेंट का ऑपोजिट इज डिसइन्वेस्टमेंट. डिसइन्वेस्टमेंट का मतलब अपने शेयर्स को आप सेल करके आप बाहर निकल आए. आपने पहले इन्वेस्टमेंट करी थी, यू परचेज द शेयर्स ऑफ द कंपनी. नाउ डिसइन्वेस्टमेंट इज यू सेल द शेयर ऑफ द कंपनी. तो पब्लिक सेक्टर ने डिसइन्वेस्टमेंट करी थी. पब्लिक सेक्टर अपने शेयर्स को सेल करके इन द हैंड्स ऑफ प्राइवेट सेक्टर केम आउट ऑफ मेनी public sector enterprises. Then setting up of BIFR, that is Board of Industrial and Financial Reconstruction, for reviving the sick and loss making public sector units. Dissolution of the stake of the government. If in the process of disinvestment, private sector acquires more than 51% share, then it results in transfer of ownership and management to the private sector. So this is what we mean by dissolution, or the stake of the government is diluted. कैसे कि गवर्नमेंट ने अपना 51% शेयर ट्रांसफर कर दिया in the hands of the private sector. So this is how privatization took place. The last topic for the day is globalization. It refers to integration of the various economies of the world, leading towards emergence of a cohesive global economy. See, हम ये चाहते थे कि इंडिया भी पार्ट बन जाए ग्लोबल विलेज का. तो तभी ये सारी रिस्ट्रिक्शंस जो इम्पोज की हुई थी, इंडिया को क्लोज्ड इकोनॉमी बनाया हुआ था, वो सब हटा दी गई ताकि द फ्री ट्रेड of goods and services can take place among various countries with various countries of the world. Till 1991, India followed a policy of licensing imports, quantitative restrictions, and tariff restrictions. Globalization resulted in rationalization of tariff structures, import liberalization, export promotion, and reforms with respect to foreign exchange. I hope whatever we have discussed today is clear to all of you. That's all for today from my side. Hope all of you have enjoyed learning today. Bye bye from my side for today. Thank you very much.